Turn me up. There we go.
Open your ears and listen, direction for your ambitions. New narrative, this the community coalition. Drumel, Corey, and Dory here for the intervention. We've been letting it slide for too long. He on not no more slipping. Unity in our community.
That's how we rise up.
Empowerment to self. Knowledge is
Knowledge is wealth.
No more fighting as individuals. We municipal.
municipal.
Take the forecast.
This the podcast to listen to.
You got a vision.
We got a vision.
Let's make it visible.
Let's make it
You
visible.
gotta fight for our rights. Well, then enlist me. All fight, no bar.
Real Talk 360.
Real talk.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Energy in here, X.
Real talk.
Yeah. You know about that, X?
Hold up. Hold up now.
Hold up.
This the first show.
First show.
Second season.
Second season.
What I tell the DJ?
I was about to say, you better tell that DJ bring it back. Tell that DJ bring it back.
This how we get this is how we get the energy going though.
2022, baby. What a way to put the X up.
Open your ears and listen, direction for your ambitions.
New narrative.
This the community coalition. Drumel, Corey, and Dory here for the intervention. We've been letting it slide for too long. You not no more slipping. Unity in our communities.
This how we rise up.
Empowerment to self. Knowledge is wealth.
Knowledge is wealth.
No more fighting as individuals. We municipal. Change the forecast.
It's the podcast to listen to.
It's the podcast to listen
Sir, yes, sir. Welcome back. Happy 2022.
He's gonna drop balls.
Yeah, and what a way to start it off. What a way to start it off. 119 Media Group, Real Talk 360.
Yeah.
Drumel, Corey, and Dory.
I like that, man. What's up? What's up?
Everything is lovely, brother. We here. We know we finally succumbed to it, man. We played dodgeball with it as long as we could.
And you got
We
hit.
played keep away. Delta couldn't touch me. The original didn't get me. But the old Omicron, the Decepticon, came through and got the household. So I'm not in studio today, man. This is your boy Corey Grant, 29571, Marion County's own, South Cat's home. Here with my partners in crime, my partners in time.
Yes, sir.
Melly Mel, what's happening, man? Happy 2022.
Let's get it going.
Yeah. Well, come on then. We hustling out here.
I'm back, man. Like I
All
said,
right.
man. Hey, Jamel Live, Darlington 29532, Jordan Street,
Darlington County.
DC. Back in the day,
Yes,
just
sir.
said DC. It wasn't Washington, DC. It was Darlington County. Man, that thing got me, man. Put me down for a while because we were supposed to do this last week.
Yes.
But they get you.
Yes.
They put out a good strand this time.
Oh, yeah.
You said they put out a good strand.
This time,
Strong,
man.
buddy.
They said it was going to touch everybody. Okay,
and
it's going to touch.
touching it.
It's going to touch. If you're 60 or 6,
It's going
it's
to
going
touch.
to touch you.
It's going to touch.
And it's hitting, boy. It's sweeping. It's
hitting
sweeping
hard,
right
man.
now, man. It is
Left,
really
right
hitting
hook.
hard. Cat Black, man. It
Yes,
hit you
sir.
again. You still good? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I was under the weather for about 4 or 5 days. I don't know what I had, so I ain't even gonna say. But I'm good now, man. But it seemed like everybody around me sick. Like it's just something in that air just hitting everybody, man. I don't know what's going on, but I just pray everybody just stay safe and just do what they gotta do, take the right medicines, eat, vitamins, fruits, vegetables, because whatever that is out there floating, boy, it ain't playing no games, man. It's laying people down.
It is. And originally, I'll never forget what we said. It's not if you get it, but
It's
when
you get it. Yeah.
They said that. They said that the first week. So for 2.5 years, me and the family, we did a good job. But this one right here, like you said, Mel, they put a heck of a strand out this time.
Oh, yeah. No cut.
It got us.
Yeah, man.
Well, with no further ado, we've been having some special guests, and today is no exception. We have a remarkable guest with us here today. I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 119 Media Group and Real Talk 360 is more than proud to bring to you today We got South Carolina's own Columbia. Stand up. AC Flora, where y'all at?
Say it
We
again.
oh man, this is home. South Carolina's own. AC Flora's own. Yes, sir. This is what even his peers they refer to him as a real one. You know, a real one. You know, the uncles that I knew and admired. This is a man's man, is how they used to describe him. This dude right here. He's a high school legend. He's an NCAA Hall of Famer. You know, he's an NBA All-Star. None other than the X-Man, Mr. XAVIER McDaniel. Give it on up. Thank you for joining us, my G.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Oh man, thank you for being here with us, sir.
Yeah.
So before we get to the X-Man and the Intimidator and the scuffles and all the stuff they want to, you know, make you famous for and everything. What we do here at Real Talk is we like to have a little, you know, we're proud of where we're from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You probably can hear everything like that. And you being one of our own, that's why it's special for us for you to be here, man. So thank you again. Can't say thank you enough. But at the end of the day, man, we want to get to some of these roots.
Right.
I'm very interested in seeing how did the X-Man become the X-Man. So if you don't mind, we just want to take you back a little bit to some of them roots you got there, dude.
Right.
So as I tell Mel all the time, you know, that I know this man right here, he's got some good fruit. You know what I'm saying? He got some good fruit, some good food, some good soul food to give us here today. But there's something at the root of that tree. You know, there's no tree that bears fruit that doesn't have any roots that get nurtured. So can you X real quick? Can you talk? Well, not real quick. Take as long as you want, sir. Can you talk to us about growing up? You know, in Columbia. In Columbia, South Carolina, back when you growing up. I mean, I don't want to put your age out there, but they could Google it. You was born in 19.
I'm 58. I'm happy with my age.
There you go. All right, there you go.
I'm happy. I'm 58 and I'll be 59 this year. But I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, a little section off of Rosewood Drive called Edisto Court. Little black community there. A lot of people will say where that's at. I will say, you know where Henley Homes at? And then they say, yeah, well, we're right behind Henley Homes. And I grew up, like I said, I grew up in a little small section off Edisto Avenue, Wallace Street, 1906 Wallace Street is where I grew up at. And I started learning my craft. I was just on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was telling somebody that I learned my craft. I was this guy named, we called him Big Jim, Robert Green. I used to go down to his house. He was about 4 or 5 years older than me. I used to go down there into his house, and they had the basketball court. We had the baseball field. We did everything this job, go-karts, motorcycles. I mean, everything, football, basketball, baseball, anything you can know, cards. And that's where I started playing. And I graduated to the projects, which were across the street. So I got my craft. You know, I've always played all sports. I played baseball, I played football, I played basketball. But somehow, basketball always lied in the heart. Baseball is the first love.
Oh, that was the next question. First
love. And so, but basketball was always there. I can remember a time my mom was crying. You know, funds were very scarce. And I told her, I said, one day I'm going to be an NBA player. That means like, yeah, okay, X. But anybody who knows me from my community will tell you, it's a better baseball player than basketball player. Way better player. Not even close.
Wow, Mel, how you think Orlando would take that? Well, that's what you said, right?
That's what he said.
I mean, I played for 9 years. I played baseball for 9 years, from 7 to 8 years old all the way up to 18.
Wow.
So I played baseball for a long time. And
what positions you play? What?
Play them all, bro.
I
play them all. I play them all. But my favorite position is catching, pitching, first and third. But most of the kids in my neighborhood, we all played 3 sports.
Right.
I mean, we all played 3, you know, and as you get older, Some venture out to other things, and some stay. But I got a lot of friends, man. I mean, got a lot of friends that play multiple sports. That's all we did was play sports.
Yeah.
The community I'm from, we had a lot of great players that came from my community. And and if you don't know where Edisto Court at, I'm gonna give you a little hint. It's right by the fairgrounds. That's where I grew up, not far from the fairground. I could walk to the fairgrounds from my house. And so on that southeast side of town, you had a lot of great athletes in Henley Holmes, Edisto Court. You had them in Washington Park, Eastway Park, Bluff Estate, Little Camden, Arthurtown. Those are the communities that wasn't far from me. You could walk to most of them and stuff, less than 5 minutes in a car. So we had a lot of great athletes, man. And I tell people, I just was the fortunate one that I had a very good high school coach that didn't allow me to do some things that I shouldn't do. And, brief, fighting, cutting class. What most teenagers would do.
Yeah, man. I mean, South Carolina teenagers.
I had a tough coach too. And, I think with him and my parents working together as a team, it kind of got me back on track to do what I needed to do to be successful.
Wow. So how old were you when you say you told your mom I'm going to the NBA?
I might have been about 10 or 11 years old.
Wow. Hey, man.
And I mean, at that time, like I said, I was more of a baseball player. I played basketball, but basketball was just that was the recreation game to play when, football was out. And, that was in the South, man. You could find baseball. Back in the day, you could find baseball players, football players all over. Basketball was just something to do. But I don't know why I came out. And this is literally a true story. I was like, I'm going to get us up out of here. I'm going to play in the NBA one day. And I have no recollection why I would say it, but I said it. I just knew that she was crying and the money was low. Like, one day we never going to have to worry about money. And she was like, yeah, okay, X. And that dream came true in 1985.
So what high school did you go to in Columbia?
AC Flora.
AC Flora.
Okay.
Yeah.
AC Flora.
It's not Eau Claire. It's not Trier.
Right.
Not Richland. It's AC Flora. And AC Flora, I mean, it was in the Forest Acres area near Fort Jackson. And so they, I would have went to Booker T. Washington High School if they didn't do the integration. But when they did the integration, I wound up going to Florida. They bus us. I passed Dreher High School every day to get to AC Flora. So we passed that school every day, and that was our rivalry. But yeah, I was bused across town to AC Flora.
So how did you make your college decision? What made you go to Wichita State?
Hold on, Cat. We're gonna get to Wichita State, but we still in Columbia right now. Hold on.
I'm moving too fast.
Yeah. Because he mentioned something earlier about the folks who still. He said he graduated to playing in the projects. That stuck out in my brain right there.
Yeah,
so you used to play when you graduate to play. Talk to me a little bit about how you graduate. What did you do in your game, or how did you know you were ready to take it to, I guess, a street ball thing in the projects? Because I know playing in the projects is different.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we used to play in Big Jim's backyard on dirt. And he had like a 10-foot goal back there. And so I started getting pretty good. Those guys were already 4 or 5 years older than me. And now I'm starting to beat them in, back then, a lot of people played, 21 back then.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, play 21. You score, you shoot a free throw, you just keep playing until you get 21. Right. And so when I started getting good with them, I already had some friends who we go middle school and elementary together and stuff. And they started trying to talk me into it, but I was told I couldn't go over there, without my parents knowing. And then one day, man, I was like, come on, man, let's go over here and play. And I was 14 years old, and I started playing with those big guys, older guys. And a lot of them used to try to intimidate me.
Right.
And, you know, they're 21, 22, 23. I'm 14, 15 years old. You know, you kind of back down. And so this guy in my neighborhood, Tony Red, was like, yo, man, you got to start standing up for yourself. And Tony Red, one of the toughest guys I know. He's one of these street guys that you're going to mess with him, you better be prepared for war.
Take it there.
And he told me, you better start standing up for yourself. I don't care. It's better to get your ass whipped than be a coward. And so I started like, now I'm not 6'1". Now I'm about 6'5", 6'6", 185 pounds.
How old? I mean, what year? How old?
Years old now.
Okay.
I'm 16 now. So now I block it. Before I used to be like, give them the ball, I'll just block it again. They gonna call foul, just block it again. So it got to the point now I'm standing up for myself. They act like they won't fight. Then I'm like, fuck it, let's fight. So I started, up for myself. And that's how I made the name. Most of the guys my age, they would play sometimes, but they didn't play a lot because, you know, older guys can be a little vicious sometimes. But I stayed with it. And I just kept grinding at it till I got to the point where when I would have something to do at home and I'll come down to the park like 30 minutes late. They were like, yo, man, get the fuck off. X is you up. That's the respect I started getting because they were like, we pick X anyhow. And so because I didn't show up and I was late, I get down there and be like, yo, get the fuck off the court, man. And then so I start, you know, getting that respect from some of the older guys and stuff. And so, you know, guys my age, man, you know, playing down at, in order to have a name for yourself in Columbia, you had to go play at Valley Park, which is King Park now. And so we would go to King Park and play when I was 13 and 14, 15, all the way up to 18 till I went to college. And I was playing for a guy named Buddy Taylor. His brother Al Taylor, me and him was teammates, and we were on the 7th, 8th grade team. And we've always played all the way up. And Buddy would like, y'all lost this game, y'all take y'all asses out there and fight, or I'm gonna wear y'all out in practice. So we'd be fighting at King Park, man. I mean, just literally fighting and stuff. So that's where it all started from. And
you know what I'm saying, man? That's how
like, you know, it just kind of like, you know, you're playing against the Eau Claire guys, you know, you're playing against guys from C.A. Johnson, you're playing from guys that went to school with me down at Pinehurst Park. Well, a lot of them, you know, the guys from Johnson was called Jackers Terrace. And then the Eau Claire team was Drew Park. So, man, we just all, I mean, from 13 to 15 to about 16, you know, the fighting kind of died down a little bit. But during that time, man, we could get into a lot of things. And I mean, we used to get kicked out, and then they'll put us back in and stuff. And then we'll get in another fight. They'll suspend us. But I mean, I just the area, King Park is another area that was tough. And then you tried to be tough. And you going down there to play, everybody tell you in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, King Park was the place to play. You could have up to 30 scouts at a basketball game in the hood.
That's what I'm talking about.
AAU.
Drop them jewels.
What no AAU? I mean, we got polices at the game because they don't. You know, I played for Shelley Rockets. It was Shelley Rockets back then, but when I played, it was Bluff Road Bullets. And then we would play Drew Park. And when these two teams get together, it's a pack house. I mean, we got 8, 9 police officers down there patrolling. And it's like, it's like the NBA finals, man. Because they know which we were going to play in the finals. And man, it's like it's a hell of a game, man. It's nothing like
about.
So this was still high school, right?
This was still in high school, yes.
Yeah, this him in 16 doing it at the park. See, I like that stuff like that because you know when you talk about King Park and saying them names, Tony Red, and Buddy Taylor, props to them. You know what I'm saying? They probably ain't never been mentioned on a podcast before.
Right.
So solid for you.
I got a question for you. Did y'all win state?
Yeah, we won the state.
Yeah, that was the next question.
Yeah.
Wait, man, I thought you was riding with me.
I am.
Man.
Yeah, we
won. Just 16.
Yeah, we definitely won the state. We beat y'all boys down there, Bennettsville.
Yeah.
Marlboro County.
Yeah, Marlboro County. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was Marlboro County. We ain't from no Marlboro County.
No, it wasn't Marlboro County. That's I know you from Darlington.
I'm just playing, man. We just playing with you. We all.
That's in that PD area down there.
Yeah, PD.
Yeah, but I remember we were in the playoffs because I felt like we should have met with what's that team? It's Andrew Jackson right out of Kershaw.
Okay.
And they had a kid, Singleton. I think it was Singleton was his name, George Singleton. And they wound up winning the state that year. And they were supposed to meet us. They were in the lower state. We was in the upper state. And we got upset. So that's my junior year. Then going into my senior year, everybody still had us as one of the favorites, but we were struggling. And a friend of mine named Alan Green, he didn't come out for the team that year because he didn't play that much as a junior. And we struggled the first 3 or 4 games, 5 games of the season. We were something like 1-4, 2-3, something like that.
Wait a minute, 1-4, 2-3, and this is the team with you and Tyrone Corbin on together?
Tyrone. Yes, we had 3 Division I players on that team.
And y'all started off like that?
Yeah, Tyrone was trying to play the point. He was trying to play, and we were just struggling, man. We were just
chemistry.
And so I one day I just said, I'm going to eat lunch quick. I wasn't bothering nobody in the cafeteria. Grabbed my lunch because I had a few lunches now. I had a bunch of lunches now. You got to pay the piper. But,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I said, I'm going to eat lunch. I went in there and I said, Coach, he talked with you, man. He said, what's going on, Xavier? I said, we need Alan Green, man. He's like, Xavier, he didn't come out. He's not on the team. We just got to figure it out. I said, Coach, we need him.
Now, is this coach Carl Williams?
Yes, Coach Carl Williams. Yes, Coach Williams. And I was like, Coach, man, we need this guy, man. I say, if we don't get this guy, we ain't going nowhere. You'll be pulling guys up off of JV, getting them ready for the next year. Because that's what happened to me and Ty 2 years prior. So he was like, all right, meet me at the because he worked at the center in the projects where we grew up at, near where I grew up. So he didn't know I already talked to Green. I already talked to him. So we get to the center. We goes up because his mom stayed right by Rosewood Drive. As soon as you turn in Bull Street and Rosewood, his apartment was right there. And we were talking. And, you know, I'm like, man, we need you, man. And his mom said, well, they say they need you. You better go out there and play some ball. And Coach, if he was alive today, he hates the story because, you know, coaches like him, they don't beg people to play. But we needed this guy. And we
knew that too.
We never looked back. I think we went undefeated. I've told people all the time that I might have been the MVP and Tyrone might have been the MVP. But nah, that's my most valuable player because this guy took us from, I think it was 1-4 or 2-4. We didn't lose a game with him. I mean, we blew by everybody. Now I'm just doing things that I did my junior year, first and third quarter. That's normally what I played when we would play people. We'd be beating people. We'll come out and we'll have somebody down like 25-4. And we've been beat them like 80-30. You know, so when him on the team, man, now that engine is raring and we moving.
Yeah, that chemistry, man.
Yeah. And so we get to the state with him and we win the state. And it's the best feeling, man. Every time I go talk to the kids at AC Flora when they're getting ready to make that state run, nobody remembers second place. Nobody remember second place.
One is a winner. 2, nobody remember.
Yeah,
that's
nobody remember you. So I got to give credit. I mean, I might have averaged these many points, but I tell people before he got on the team, I was averaging like 20 something. When he got on the team, the ball was distributed to more people.
Right. But in that state championship game, though, I think you went for something like 23, and you had 23 and 12.
Yeah, I had 20 at half. They played me man to man. They played me man to man. I take that shit personal. I take that personal.
Wow.
You know? And that's not against Cozell, but I mean, I took that game personal. My eyes lit up when I seen man to man.
You haven't been playing man to man since when?
Hey, everybody knows you play me man to man. We had a play, and I'm gonna get it up top, and it's 1-on-1, and I'm scoring just about every time.
What the hell?
I shot. I mean, you got to realize. I mean, I shot like 70% in high school.
Yeah, you was like an inside out. You could give it to them however they needed it. You know, mid range, post game.
Yeah, I could play even high school. I could play inside, outside. But mostly my senior year, I played inside. You know, my junior year, we were a little bit bigger. We had Hildebrand, we had Robert Brannon, we had Tyrone. So I played more small forward my junior year, and then my senior year, I played more center. And we had Anthony Snooks, who was 6'8", and we had Tyrone at 6'6". A center on defense and power forward on offense. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all was solid. Y'all was solid running through them, and y'all won state, man. So real quick about your coach, you know, the late great Carl Williams. I heard you say something, and I read an article where you spoke highly of him. And you know, for you to be able to go to him and say, we need this kid on our team, does that speak to the relationship that you and he had for you to be able to get him to be able to, I guess, go outside of what was the norm for him?
Yes, we had what most, I would say, teenagers have with their parents, that love-hate relationship.
Right.
Because if something went on, and if I was somewhere near, you could just go to him and say, X did this, and boy, he will punish me. I get mad. I mean, I tell you, I'd be mad. I'd be like getting ready to say some choice words and stuff, and I'll be like, you know, but I as an adult, I understood it more.
Right.
Now, especially now.
We have.
You know, as you grow older and you get kids, you kind of understand what they're doing. But man, this guy he would punish me. When I say punish me, I mean punish me. I mean, nothing my daddy had to do to me, because I was actually about to quit playing for AC Flora my junior year, and he kicked me off the team.
What?
And went to my house, and I walked through the door. I didn't know this cat gonna come to my house. He went and talked to my parents. I walked through the house, and my daddy hit me in the chest. I said, man, why you hit me in my damn chest, man? And he was like, Carl Williams just left here, and if I ever hear him saying you didn't do this or do that, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And I was sitting there like, I would say, if he tell you to jump, you say how high. He tell you to run through a wall, you run through it. And you cannot ever come to this house and tell me what you're doing wrong. And man, I was like, oh Lord. Pop get mad, and he started hitting. And I know people be talking about Mike Tyson hit hard. Well, my daddy used to hit hard too.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was like, okay, I guess that thing going to drill gonna be out, because I went to school with a lot of people from drill, so I'm very familiar with the drill kids over there. So, and he told me, you go back and you talk to coach, and he called me. And anything I did wrong, I got punished with coach. I got punished at home. Man, it made me be a model citizen. I had to stop hanging with certain people.
Right.
Even though I wasn't doing it. And as we got older, I said, Coach, you know, a lot of them times, about 50% of the things they told you, I didn't do.
Wow.
But he always said guilt by association, XAVIER. And so, like, you know, like, for example, if somebody's about to get in a fight, they'll be like, Big X, hey, man, them cats may want to try to jump me, man. So, you know, all the fights happen right down by the bus. I'll be like, nah, you good, nigga. I got you. And, you know, that's how our community was. So we go down by the bus. Nah, man, I ain't got no problem with you. But you got a problem with him. Y'all can square off. you know, one-on-one. It ain't gonna be no jumping. We didn't play that. People, my name, we didn't play that. So I would get into some things like that, and you know, myself a couple fights and stuff, but I had to kind of straighten my act up a little bit, man. I had to go to class. I used to cut class a lot, man. I cut class so much. And I have a friend. He wound up going to Eau Claire, transfer out, and he went to Eau Claire. But we used to have this thing in math class, and I used to say MCDANIEL. What that spell? He would say McDaniel. Then he'll turn around and say MCCLINTON. What that's the McClinton? And they were like, get us out. We just go to the gym and play ball. They can't say I cut class. So what they can say is, I got kicked out of class. I said, she put me out. I'll go to the gym and work on my craft. So we used to pull that a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, we had one of our more spirited debates on our show on Real Talk 360 here with and I know that coach was just influential, and like you said, you got your parents and they were always there. But just real quick, Mel is one of those who don't think the coach should ever yell at the players.
No, you're not. You're saying it wrong. You're saying it wrong. See, I don't think that.
What do you think?
But
what you think?
I just don't think you have to belittle a person to make them perform.
Right.
And no, you changed.
No, okay, you started this, brother.
Okay, well, he changed his terminology. If I spoke
I know that some kids, if their father figure ain't there, they need that and they look towards that for that man to do that. But a lot of times you don't have to belittle and cuss at a person for them to perform, especially these days. That's all I'm saying. So if you start that back, if you bring that what happened back then to these days, it ain't going. 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Well, you know, like with my high school coach, he was quiet and laid back. Coach Williams didn't say nothing. Now, I got me and Big Rob, probably the only 2 players, because he was another one that we used to kind of hang out. He grew up over by Tyrone Corbin. And he told, but this was not in a game, but this was at practice. He told him, I'll kick your ass. And he told me, he said, McDaniel, I'll kick your ass. And I was like, my eyes went like white because I never heard him speak that way.
But he know he's gonna have to kick your ass. Look how big you.
You was a big boy.
But now my college coach, oh my God, boy, he got choice words. He wasn't a night, but he would have some choice words for you. But you know, coach was kind of like laid back. He was real quiet, you know, very articulate. I mean, once he showed you something, we had to pick it up quick. Right. We didn't have time to go over things 3 and 4 times. If we were doing something, we did it for 5 minutes, we went to something else. You couldn't pick it up, you go on third team. So you had to learn how to pick things up. Some guys that didn't pick up, they wasn't the fact they couldn't play, they just couldn't pick up plays very well and real quick. So when he tell you something, we had to snap at it. We had to do it. And,
well, that prepared you well for college, I want to say. Yeah, but how did you okay, like Cat Black, back to your question and what you asked us. I know with you, 23-12 in the state, you win state. Y'all should have, like you said, probably won it before. Who was recruiting you at this time? How was that working? Who was trying to?
I'm gonna say 2 parts on. I'm gonna talk about some letters and then how I picked it. Like, I got letters from Georgetown. I got letters from Duke. I got letters from Clemson, South Carolina, Memphis State, Wichita State, Ole Miss, Bradley. I had well over 100 different schools looking at me. Had just about everybody in the country. Wisconsin, Michigan State. I narrowed my choices down to Memphis, Clemson, Carolina, and Wichita State. And Ole Miss never went away. Even though I told them I wasn't interested, they never went away. So they kind of stayed. And I went on a recruiting trip because Tyrone was going, so we both went on a recruiting trip. And I was like, man, I don't think Mississippi where I want to come. I was like, man, but I knew I wanted to go to South Carolina. And I told some other people on the podcast that, you know, people want to blame me that why I didn't go to South Carolina, but they don't know the ins and outs, how South Carolina promised me a scholarship, signed 6 guys. Now they coming to me and telling me they want me to go to prep school. Basically broke my heart.
Oh.
17 years old. And I'm thinking that I'm going to go to South Carolina. I've told my high school coach, I only went on 1 trip. So I opened up my recruiting trip again, and I wind up going to Memphis State. I went to Clemson, and I went to Wichita State. And when I was in Memphis, I had a great time in Memphis. We went to a lakeside at Old South Coliseum. They got me backstage. I had a great time. We played ball, Bobby Parks, and all those guys who played for Memphis back then. They just shut the rec center down. And it was against the NCAA rules back then. It's not no more. It was against the NCAA rules that you couldn't when you go on a recruit trip, you couldn't play no basketball. Man, they locked that gym down, gave me some shoes, and we ball out. We ball out, man. We just had a great time. It's a great time I had. I went to Wichita State. I go see one of Coach Sam Goodwin was a football coach, and Coach Jeffries was out there. I went to visit them. Then I got with Cliff Levingston. We went up to Kansas, met down there Valentine, came back to Wichita. Was, you know, KU was about 2.5, 3 hours away. And he said, you want to go on a trip? I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. So we went up there, we hung out, came back, met with the coaching staff that day. And I just had just a great time, man. And, you know, they told me what they see me at. And I took a gamble, man. I took a gamble. And I sit down with my high school coach, my parents. And I'm just being honest. They was like, you need to leave. You need to get out. You need to learn how to grow up. You need to learn how to be responsible. You got a lot of shit with you, X. So you know, they're telling me the things that I need to learn how to do. You know,
they loved you. That's because they loved you. And then when you go to college, you go to Wichita State, and you join a team that were, you know, they got a couple of players who would already. What's that?
Elite 8. They went to the Elite 8 the year before.
The year before, so that was a. But were they on? Did they get put on probation after that when you went?
When I got there, the NCAA. I remember the NCAA told me, once you sign a national letter of intent, you're stuck with that school. They told me I could get out of it if I wanted to. See, you know, I was like, nah, I'm gonna go. And so we got put on probation by December. We were number 4 ranked team in the country at the time, and we got put on probation. Wow. We finished that year 23-6, man, with Cliff Levingston, Carr. We had Arby Sherrod, Greg Dryland. So we had a great team. Tony Martin.
And you started that year. You started as a freshman?
Did you start as a freshman?
I started 3 games as a freshman. But I didn't start till my sophomore year, junior, senior year. And so for me, it was great because, I mean, I got to play a lot. You know, 13 minutes a game for a freshman was pretty good. You know, Arby Sherrod was a freshman. He played about 28, but he was the second best guard in the country coming out of high school behind Michael Jordan. And he was one of the top scorers in the country as a freshman too, averaging about 11 points a game. So I felt pretty good after that freshman year. I had done learn a lot. You know, I realized that I couldn't just rely on jumping ability, because when I got to college, man, everybody can jump. Everybody can jump. So I remember one practice, I got my shot block, dunk block about 4 or 5 times. I mean, Cliff is hounding me today. I mean, I'm going up and I'm trying to dunk on him. He's like, get that shit out. Get that shit out. Well, after practice, Antoine said, man, you can jump, but you ain't jumping with no force. He said, Cliff don't jump with me. He know I'm going to put this knee in him, and and stuff. He started showing me. He said, you know, high school you can get away with that because you may be taller or quicker than everybody.
Right.
Showing me how to actually dunk on people. And you put that knee, when you hit him with that knee, and he said, I promise you, he'll never jump again. And I was like, okay. So we running the play, and I went baseline, and I put that knee on him, and I hit him with that dunk. And every time I would go to the hole, he would never jump again.
He back up.
Right, because now you know how to dunk. You know how to dunk since you're 15.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about really knowing how to dunk on people. And that's what I was learning.
That was Cliff left. That was Cliff and Antoine Carr that you have been playing with.
And you know, with Cliff, I tell people all the time, I learned hard work with him. Hard work, man. This dude is relentless on the board. And so
your sophomore year, you averaged
both of them and stuff, man. And that what was about my high school coach was saying. They both gonna be pros. You can't help but learn.
Right.
You know? And you know, they felt like I would never get in any trouble because my high school coach, like, I remember saying, well, you get out there your freshman year, you don't know nobody but Coach Jeffries and Coach Sam Goodwin. And so you get out there, by the time you meet people, you're going to probably be, when you're really meeting people, you're going to be like a junior, and hopefully you'll be mature. And it all played out exactly the way they felt like it would happen. And
you actually led I think you what did you lead the nation in rebounding your sophomore year?
Right. Yes.
Wow. And that was, and then, but you were still averaging like 19, 20?
20s back then. I was two-time Missouri Valley Player of the Year.
Two-time Missouri Valley Player of the Year. And by your senior year, you was averaging like 27 and 15?
Yeah. 27
and 15, Mel. In college. First person ever to lead the nation in points and rebounds in the same season.
And the funny thing is, I only averaged like 18 to 20 shots a game. I didn't even take a lot of shots.
Efficient.
You know,
efficient.
And the funny thing is, I never even set out to do that, man. It's just something that just happened. I mean, I like just like about a 3 or 4 week stretch, man. I was dropping 30 every night. I was dropping 30 or 40 every night.
What the hell?
You know,
a lot of people will sit there and say, well, let's see his shots and let's look at his numbers. But I shot 56% from the field. You know, I would have averaged more than that, but you know, only shot like 66 from the free throw line. So it was just something that just happened, man.
That's beautiful.
I didn't go out and shoot a lot of shots. I don't know if y'all remember a guy named Alfrederick Hughes. Now that joker used to shoot shots. He played for a lot of people. I didn't shoot that many, but I was just very efficient with what I did.
Right on.
I just caught one of them times where I'm hot and I just could not miss shots and stuff.
First team All-American.
I seen that. Yeah. I saw that. But so Wichita State, well, after I look at Wichita State, really is for you because they take pride in being a Wichita State shocker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely a shocker.
You go to Wichita. I lived in Wichita before.
Yeah.
When you say
that's what I was gonna ask you, Mel. Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing at the Air Force Base?
And my dad was in the Army.
Okay, the Army out there.
And I moved to Wichita. I ended up moving to Wichita.
Yeah.
And I stayed in Kansas the whole time. I was in Kansas since like 92.
Okay.
Or 90.
90. Yeah, I still go there, but I had a house out there at 90. I live out by, where Northwest High School at?
Yeah.
I stayed about 6 minutes from Northwest High School off 119th Street and 13th, in between 13th and 21st.
Okay. So I got one question I'm giving back to Corey.
About 10 minutes from the zoo.
Go ahead.
Who has the best barbecue? Is it down south or is it in Kansas?
Great question. Man. Great question. Take your time, Eric. Take your time. Great question, Mel. Great question.
Because now you see two types of barbecue.
It is too tight. Now, brisket, they do some hell of a brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brisket sandwich. And they do some good ribs too. But I love me some Big T's barbecue, man.
Where's that at?
Barbecue in Columbia, South Carolina, on Garner Ferris Road. It's some of the best barbecue you're going to have. you know, out in Kansas, they don't do hash and rice
No.
and stuff. But I mean, both of them really great. They use ketchup base. I am a mustard based guy, but I love ketchup now because if you live in Kansas, you got to definitely have the ketchup base. You know, we in the South, we do mustard base. You know,
Yeah.
And if you ever been up to Kansas City, they got a lot of great barbecue spots too.
Did you go to Gates? Have you ever been to Gates?
Gates, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to several of them up there. And Wichita, pig in, pig out.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of them, man, that I go to. And they take care of me, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. There are a lot of people in Wichita, they love those shockers. And I go to Walt's Burger. Walt's says, Xavier, your money ain't no good here. And Walt's is off of Central, right off where the Chick-fil-A at, on Central and Rock Road, right behind the Chick-fil-A, that little shopping plaza right there. Rock Road and Central, where the old theater used to be on the other side, right up the street from Capon.
I have to see. I can't recall.
Walt's Burger. Yeah. So I mean, if you are, you don't even have to be a legend, but if you're good in the community, man, they take care of you.
Oh yeah, they're gonna hold you up.
They take care of you.
So you walking around Wichita, 30 points.
Huh?
30 points, averaging 30 points. You walking around Wichita, 30 points, and they treat you like you Jordan already.
Yeah, man. They love some shockers, man.
Now I want to ask you about your shockers. Is this where I read somewhere you began? Is it with your eyebrows? Is that true?
That's not true.
Did you shave it? That's not true. Oh,
that's not
good.
True. Some guy wrote that, and I've never shaved my eyebrows.
I couldn't find any footage of it, and I was like,
I'll tell you this right here. I'll tell you this right here. I went to the barbershop, me and Arby Sherrod and another teammate, James Gibbs. And we were always on big games. We was playing Tulsa. And if you're from Wichita, you know that's the big game.
Yeah.
Like South Carolina, Clemson.
Right.
And so we're at the barbershop on 21st Street in Grove. Right there, about 5 blocks from Wichita State University. And so it was my chance to get in the door, in the chair. And I was like, what y'all gonna do? Like, cut it off. I cut all my hair off.
You had a flat top?
No, I just had a regular cut.
You just had a regular? Okay.
Yeah. And it was like, cut it off. So I cut it all off, all my hair off. Them jokers get in the chair and they just got their regular cuts. I was mad. Now I'm at the game, everybody looking at me like, man, what happened to you? I said, man, them jokers tricked me, man.
Oh, man.
But when I came out for the game, people loved it.
Oh,
they loved it. They was going. So I kept it. And it just became a part of the X-Men phenom, I guess. So I was like, I just kept it. And so when I got to another big game, I'll cut it like it looked like it's cut now, but it actually needs to be cut now. But I would, as soon as it get up a little bit, I'll just cut it off. And I just kept doing it. But then in the summers when I didn't play ball, I just let it grow out. But then, over time, I just got so used to doing it. By now, by a senior, I'm just cutting it off all the time. By the end of my senior year, I'm just cutting it off all the time. But I never cut my eyebrows. I don't know where this guy get it from. I'm just not a hairy person. I don't have a lot of hair on me, period. I'm just not a hairy person.
So after a stellar and all-star, all-American, college career, you get drafted. 1985. First round pick, 4th overall. 4th overall. First pick went to I know, right? South Carolina's own. Yeah, right there.
Over there in the projects. In the projects.
Man. On the Tony Red and them boys, man. Now you get to
shake hands with Davis.
All the way over to Seattle, though. All the way over there.
Yeah.
All the way over there, man. Talk to us about your, your rookie season and getting drafted and coming in and how was that?
Can I interrupt real quick? I got one
Oh,
question.
sure.
Okay. What color was the suit on that you had on that night?
Was that I think I had on it was either a gray or a blue suit I had with a red tie, I think.
Was it double-breasted?
No, it wasn't double-breasted. It was just a two-piece.
Okay. Where the draft was it what you remember where the draft was?
Madison Square Garden in the Forum.
Okay. Now check this out. When y'all leaving the hotel, right?
Uh-huh.
And you going to the farm, to the garden. How you feel? How'd you feel at that time? Because now, what you done told your mama at 10 years old could come true that night.
Yep. I was with my agent, David Falk.
Mike, that was Mike agent too, and Pat agent.
Yep. James Worthy, a lot of us.
Look at Mel.
Yeah. And so my father and my high school coach was there with me. And we get there. We catch a cab over to the farm. My heart's beating fast. I'm not saying a lot. We get there, they line us up. They had Patrick Ewing, they had Wayman Tisdale, Benoit Benjamin, and everybody sitting down. And, you know, everybody know Patrick Ewing was going one.
Yeah.
New York already.
Go ahead.
And New York said, you know, they're already going to take Patrick number one.
Okay.
I knew there was a possibility that I may go to the Pacers at number 2, small possibility. Wayman Tisdale had a stellar 3-year career at Oklahoma. And so he went number 2. And I'm looking at the roll. Okay, so now it's me and Benoit. And then Benoit got called 3rd because I thought it was a possibility I'd go to the Clippers. When they called me out, man, it was like everything just left out on me, man, for a second. It said, from Wichita State, XAVIER McDaniel. And then I was like, I got up and I just couldn't do but put a big smile on, man. And I was like, you know, everything I dreamed about has come true. I knew things that I could do for my family that I couldn't do before.
You can do it now.
Went through my mind, man. I was just happy to get it over with because a lot of people wanted Seattle to take Deadly Shrimp.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was going to come down to me and Deadlift. But see, I know some of the people in Seattle at the time wanted Deadlift and some wanted me. And I think what happened was they had recruited some other kids that did not pan out, and they were happened to be white. And I know McCormick, great guy, John Sonvold, I know all of them. So I think that's played the part of me. But I tell everybody anyhow, I was the best player in an 85 draft anyhow.
Word.
I truly believe that. And me and Patrick have had talks over this. Well, I was rookie of the year. I said, yeah, Patrick, you were rookie of the year. You were, but you missed 32 games. I played 32 games. I felt like I was not to take nothing from nobody because I think Patrick Ewing overall was going to be a Hall of Famer. I watched him play when we were playing in Madison Square Garden in 1982, and we was in a doubleheader together. I knew he was a great player, but because he missed 82 games, that prompted me to the number 1 position. And so he wound up winning Rookie of the Year, but I felt like I should have won it because, you know, our stats were about the same. You take my 32 worst games and move them out, my numbers are better than his.
Yeah, I saw an interview where he said that too.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying, Patrick, come on now. You missed 32 games. You ain't missed 2 games. You missed 32. You almost missed half the season. You only played, you missed 32 games. You played 50. That means you played roughly what? 60 games, 58% of the games?
Yeah.
That's all you played. I played 82. I played 100%. So I felt like, but I understand that there was some issues that went on during that time in 1985, 86 season that probably stopped me from getting Rookie of the Year. Got in a little trouble.
Yeah, you shouldn't have hit you shouldn't have beat up Dale Ellis.
No, there wasn't. That was in, me and Dale got in that. That was in 1990. About 1990. But
so check this out.
But I tell Patrick all the time, I just feel like I was the Rookie of the Year that year.
And what he said?
I heard you say that was your trophy.
And I also got, I told him, I done been to his house. I said, let me see my trophy. I won every other Rookie of the Year except the NBA Rookie of the Year. Me and Karl Malone got, which Karl averaged about 14, I think, that year. I averaged 17 and 8. Karl averaged maybe 14 and 9. But we got Reader's Digest Rookie of the Year. I won the Seagram's Rookie of the Year by myself. I won every award of Rookie of the Year that year except the NBA Rookie of the Year.
Because he played for the New York. That's all. That's
what
in New York.
And that's what I told him. He talking about, man, I say, Patrick, if you played all 82 games and you got the numbers you got, you're right. You do win Rookie of the Year. But you can't say that. You miss what? I mean, I don't know the numbers. I got to pull my calculator out. But I think if you miss 32 out of 60 games, that's less. You didn't even play 60% of the games that year.
No, you didn't.
Mm.
You did.
You know, I want to say it's 58% just off the head.
Yeah.
So and that's why I win Rookie of the Year that year. And it cost me $100,000.
Did you go to the All-Star game that year? Was you selected to the All-Star game that year?
No, and he was selected to the All-Star game. I felt like I should have been selected because of the way I was playing. You know, the type of, I mean, we didn't have a very good team. We had some well-known players, Al Wood, Jerry Henderson, Tom Chambers, Jack Sigma. Right. And, you know, I was second on the team in scoring behind Tom. You know? But
and Tom would dunk on you back then, too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
My guy will dunk on you. I say, don't jump, man. Me and Tom got a bet who gonna have the most dunks on you. One year he was with when he was with New York, and who was the coach? Was it Stu Jackson or Huey Brown? They was doing a damn. No, I think it was Rick Pitino. It was one of them coaches, and they was doing a 1-3-1. And I'm sitting there, you ain't gonna play no 1-3-1 in no pros. And man,
gotta be Rick
I
Pitino.
almost dumped on Patrick about 4. I got him 3. I lost like $200 or something like that. Well, hey, I said, hey man, don't jump, man, because we and Tom got a bet who gonna get the most dunks tonight now. But yeah, but I felt like I should have been Rookie of the Year now, man. But it's all good though. Patrick's a great friend, you know, and you know, he's a Hall of Famer. I take nothing away from him, but it's just what I believe in.
Okay. Yeah, he's supposed to. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I tell Corey I'm a man all the time. Straight up.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But check this out, man.
But you know what? Being disappointed in life was nothing new. Also, that's what makes you get hungry.
Right.
And it keeps grinding, you know, because a lot of people don't even realize I wasn't even the Columbia Player of the Year.
Who was?
One of my friends, Harold Martin, who went to South Carolina, was. And he was another one. How's my trophy doing? He's passed away today, you know, a few years back. But
R.I.P. to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Harold Martin, man, basketball legend here too. But I felt like with what we do, and they beat us twice, so it's hard to go against that. But they beat us twice, you know. So I can't take that away from them. But everybody knows that war should have went to me. Also, when you've been disappointed, like I said a lot, you just learn to grind more and grind harder, and that's all I did. You know, when I didn't make the All-Star team, I just kept grinding, That's all you can do.
So check this out. So that's why when you meet you come in the NBA, right, rookie, and you already got like a chip on your shoulder. So that's how when you run up on a person like Michael Jordan, or you run up on a person like Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, it's competition straight out the bat.
Yeah,
you ain't backing out nothing.
Well, yeah, when I first got into the league, man, I had some veterans, like I said, Al Wood, Jerry Henderson, George Johnson. And those guys would be telling me, you know, you're going to be a marked man, because at that time, you know, I was averaging, my average salary was about $750,000.
A year?
A year. Even though I didn't make that a year, because my first year I only made $500,000. And then the second year, I made $650 to $875. You want to start low, so when you come to renegotiate, you want that last year to be a high number. So you got to realize guys like George Gervin was making like $800 and I'm coming in. You know, Doc was making like $900. I asked for $1 million. I said, and Lenny Wilkins told me, I'm not paying you $1 million. I'm not going to pay you as much as Doc and these guys. But he looked me in the face and said, if you get us where we relevant and get us back in the playoffs, I will give you the money. I will give you the money. And I said, okay. So I settled for the $750. 2 years into my contract, we renegotiated, and he gave me $1 million because now we just went to the Western Conference Finals.
And who y'all played that year?
You had some battles.
Lakers played the Lakers.
But y'all got rid of Houston though. Y'all beat Houston though, right?
Double overtime. We went down to Houston, won game 1 and game 2. Lost game 3 in Seattle. Won game 4, went up 3-1. Went to Houston and lost. Came back for game 6 and went in double overtime. Man, Elijah one had 49 and 25.
What question?
Hey, when you talking about that Decepticon, first thing that came to my mind is Optimus Prime. That's what I used to call King. He was like Optimus Prime, man. He was a beast.
What about Clyde Drexler, man? How was he on the court?
Clyde was tough. Clyde is tough, fast. You know, at that time when he was with Portland, he wasn't with Houston.
He was with Portland.
He was with Portland.
Okay, yeah.
Clyde, streaky shooter. You just want to stop him from, I mean, he's Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan.
I heard that a lot too.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, think about it. Jumping over Andre Turner head in college. Fly Slammer
Came from Fly Slammer Jammer. Yeah. Them boys played above the rim.
Right. And so I was like, we was like, we got to keep him, we call it the launch pad where a guy jumps from. We got to keep him out of the launch pad area. And we try to keep him where he's shooting jump shots. But, Clyde was a very, very good player, very athletic guy. I didn't guard him as much unless he went to the small forward.
Yeah.
Because I normally guarded Kiki Vandeweghe.
Good player.
All these white boys when he was with Portland. Man. I was also a teammate in New York. And then Jerome Kersey took over that spot. And I felt like Jerome didn't shoot as well as Kiki, but he was more athletic than Kiki.
Some of them small forwards that you faced back in the Western Conference, and some of them small forwards back then, man. There was some real hoopers back then. So who would you say was probably your toughest, one of your toughest covers? Who's somebody who I got to eat good tonight because it's on tomorrow?
Yes, man. Oof. Dax, can you go out? Larry Bird, definitely. James Worthy, definitely.
James Worthy.
Ooh. Charles Barkley, if he's at the 4 or the 3.
Barkley.
Yeah.
You got Bernard King.
Oh yeah.
You got like I said, Kiki Vandeweghe. You got Alex English.
South Carolina.
You got
Mark Aguirre.
Yes. You got Rodney McCray. Different types of players. Some of them are different types because something like Rodney gave me trouble on defense. And I used to ask my college teammate, James Gibbs, and Rodney were high school teammates together. So I used to say, you telling him how to get my shit off? Because he's the only fucking guy that could stop it sometimes. And I'd have to show him a different variation of it, of that turnaround. But Rodney was, he was defensively, man, he was tough on him. Plus, he's another guy that can handle the ball. Then, you got Scottie Pippen. It's just so many, man. The small forward was one of, and I'm sorry to always leave this guy, and it just hit my mind. Adrian Dantley.
Yeah.
Adrian Dantley.
Because before Karl Malone was scoring 28, it used to be Adrian Dantley doing that scoring.
He'll drop you off too.
Yes, he would give it to you. He'll give you numbers. Marcus Johnson. I mean, it's just so many guys, man. But I tell people, man, being a small forward, it made me grow up really, really quick because I had to learn how to go back at these guys. And, I remember Jerry Henderson said, X, you just got to go back at them, man. You can't wait on Bernie to call a play. Sometimes you just got to get it and go. And that's what I started learning. I started snatching that rebound, thinking back, I'm back in college, and I would just get it and go.
Yeah.
So those are some of the guys. I named quite a few, you know.
Yeah.
That were
Ballers.
players, man. I mean, and I missed a lot of them, but I mean, you know, when you get to the NBA, man, it's really no easy night. It may be an easy night, like you may get Ivoroni on you, you know, from Utah when he was with Utah or Philly, but he's only in there for the first 3 minutes before somebody come off the bench that can really score, you know. So it's really no easy nights. I mean, you know,
The best of the best.
Yeah, it's the best of the best, man. I remember Harold Press. I'm like, damn, this guy killing me, man. And, you know, he was from Villanova. He came out, I think, 86, 87. And I used to have to say, okay, can't play this motherfucker this way. I got to rough him up a little. I started taking him down low, trying to rough him up, hit him with forearms. And you just got to learn people. You got to read your scouting report. You got to watch film. But, man, I tell people all the time, man, it's the best job in the world to wake up and go play basketball and get paid for it. My checks used to be out the taxes, no state taxes in Seattle, $105,000 a month. Come on, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
Man,
Damn, that's not better than
like, man, who they want me to kill too? They give me all this money. Come on, man.
Hey.
Yeah. I guess that's why it might have looked like you didn't mind killing somebody if it came to that from time to time.
You know, and I just, man, it's the best job in the world, man. I tell you.
What was your best night in the NBA? Your best game that you performed?
You shooting in a hula hoop when it just feel like everything.
If you can remember
I had quite a bit of them, man. It's hard.
I like that. So many.
I had a few of them. You know, I had a couple 40-point games.
Yeah, he did.
You know, 40-point games. I would probably say my best half when we were playing the Lakers, and it's the year I made the All-Star team.
88.
It was like January, and I had just hurt my knee, and it was somewhere late January, and I had like 25 at the half. And I remember Nate throwing me a dunk, and I just one-handed and cocked it, and we lost the game, by the way.
Oh. It was the Lakers. It was them Showtime Lakers.
I've had some phenomenal games against the Lakers. I think I had like 39 in the Forum. Had 42 in Seattle. I've had some good games against a lot of people, man. It's hard to remember a lot of them, but I remember Milwaukee. I had 42 in Milwaukee, missed like 8 free throws. Could have had 50.
Oh man!
But I've had some phenomenal games. New York, I had like 40-something in New York.
At the Guard.
Yeah. So because you had like 4 or 5 years in Seattle where you were dropping like 20 a game, 28, you know, and everything like that. But then in like the early 90s, you got traded to Phoenix first.
And then when I went to Phoenix on the first trade, you know, I'm playing with a better cast. You know, you got Tom Chambers, you got Kevin Johnson, you got Jeff Hornacek, Mark West, and Dan Morley, and you got myself at the small forward. And it wasn't a good fit for me because in Phoenix, we mostly ran screen and roll with Hornacek up top, shoot the three, me in the corner, Mark West dives. I am not a type of shooter that just catch and shoot. I'm more of a guy who wants to put on the floor, then maybe pull up on you, being athletic. I'm an athletic shooter. It wasn't a good fit for me. Me and Tom Chambers, man, great guy. I mean, you'll be amazed, man, great guy. I would have some stories to tell, but I would have to kill all y'all.
No, you had a little short stint in Phoenix, but then after Phoenix though,
I went to New York.
Is New York
my squad?
Yeah, that's my squad.
But X, real quick, it seems like to me you wouldn't have thought that you had 5 years in Seattle, then you go to Phoenix real quick, and then you in New York. You only ended up playing in New York for 1 year, right?
1 year. 1 year.
But it seemed like you was there for a longer time than that because so much happened.
Yes.
I guess in that 1 year when you was in New York.
That was a good year for New York.
A lot of people don't even realize.
Hold up. Tell us day one.
When I got traded to Phoenix, I was mad because I was supposed to go to New York. I didn't even play in a game because they were saying I'm possibly going to get traded to New York. Somehow it fell through. And then this was like preseason. And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, I get traded to Phoenix. And then I'm traveling from Seattle to Phoenix. And at that time, cell phones wasn't, the signal will go in and out through the mountains. And as I'm coming through the mountains, my phone finally comes through because I'm right out in the outskirts of Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm like, oh, who called me? And I call them back, and I'm like, they said, come to the office. And caught Fitzsimmons there and Jerry Colangelo, and they was like, I just traded your ass. I say, for real? They say, yeah. I said, where? To New York. I was like, thank you. And they were like, you're not mad? I said, nah, this is where I should have went in because New York fit me.
Right.
It fit me. I knew it fit me with Patrick. Right. And so when I got there, I caught a red eye that night. Just got in town. And same day I got in town, I had my cousin say, hey, man, you got to take care of all this shit on your own. I was like, I got to go to New York. I got to do this physical. So I catch a red eye, get to New York, do my physical. The next day, I goes to Charleston, South Carolina. We training. And the first day we were meeting, Pat Riley was talking what he expect. And he said, I'm going to show you a video. And I'm looking, I dropped my head. The damn video of me and Oakley fighting against each other.
Yeah, because you and Oakley got into it when you was in Seattle.
Yes, right.
That was wild.
2 or 3 years prior. So now I'm sitting there, drop my head, I'm laughing. And then Pat Riley said, now we fight together. And so
yes, sir.
January comes, season going pretty good. January comes. I got a clause in my contract. I had the first buyout of any NBA player. Now, I don't care who it was, they didn't have the buyout before me.
No, the first buyout ever in the NBA.
In the NBA, I had the first buyout.
Ooh,
I brought my contract out because when I was with Seattle, that's the same contract that I was with Seattle again. I signed 3 different contracts: a rookie contract, extension, and another extension with Seattle. And so,
explain to our audience real quick what a buyout is. When you say you bought out your own contract.
Own contract.
Yes, I had a buyout. A buyout is where you have so many years left on your contract. I opt out where I paid the New York Knicks $500,000 to get out of. I gave them a check for $500,000 to get out my contract. So, like I said, everything was going well. Got good numbers, around 18, 19 a game, about 8 rebounds. You go look it up. You can go to NBA.com. And you can see all the stats. They got all the stuff online now. You can see the numbers. Start off a little slow, picked it up. I buys the contract out, and they stopped playing me.
There you go.
They stopped playing me. And now my average goes from 18 and a half to down to 13. And, you know, the good thing for me is we lost the division to Boston Celtics. We both tied 51 and 31. But back then, everybody in your conference, you had to play 5 times. They beat us 3-2. So that's the tiebreaker. Since they won 3-2, they win the division. So now we go from 2 to 4, or from 3 to 4, because Cleveland would have took 2. We would have took 2 before we got to Cleveland. It's weird. So let's say the NBA, we win the division. We would have went number 2 because we won the division, because Chicago was in the same division with Cleveland. So Cleveland would have initially got the number 3 seed. But if we would have met each other in the playoff, Cleveland would have flopped to number 2 and we would have went to number 3. So by us losing, we goes to number 4. Now I got a meeting with Pat Riley. And he asked me, how can we get you back in this flow? I said, man, I've been ready, man. I said, do you see me? I'm the first one in the gym, practice at 10. I'm here at 8:30. Practice over at 12. I'm leaving at 2:30. I'm ready, man. And that was just the best thing. So now we got Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And
After they coming off of two, that was after their back-to-back.
They just got knocked out by the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals the year before. So, but they had 3 years before that, they went back-to-back, and then Eastern Conference lost to the Bulls. So they just finished 5th. So we meet the Pistons. We beat them in game 1. They beat game 2. They win game 3. We win game 4. But I'm having big games. You know, I'm doing basically double-double every night. And then we get them in. We get them in back in New York game 5. I have a monster game. I finished with I think it was 24, 25. And I think Patrick had 28, something like that. And so we beat them. And then now we got the Bulls. And we win game 1. I think we win game 1 or we lose game 1, but we won game 2 or lose. We split in New York. And so, but we lose game 3, the pivotal game. We lose game 3. You got to hold your court.
In New York. Y'all beat them one time in Chicago, and then y'all went back to New York and lost game 3. Okay.
And so now I am still playing well, and I'm defending Scottie Pippen very well. So we lose game 7. Everybody knows that. And so now I'm a free agent. And they were telling me, you know, we're going to sign you. And I'm like, okay. I'm not in the free agent market. Now, July gone, I'm sitting there like, oh, I get a call from a reporter. And he basically tells me, they're going to screw you, X. I'm telling you, they're going to screw you. As soon as they get one of these not draft picks, but when they get one of these free agents they're looking at, they're going to jerk you around. They didn't get a free agent. And then after he told me that, I called David Falk. I said, well, we just going to go, man. It's September, man. And they hadn't come up to the plate. I went to Boston. Okay. And Boston made me an offer. $13 million for 5 years, $8 million guaranteed, which means, and let me backtrack a little bit. Now, I had 2 years left on my deal in New York, which was going to make me $1.8 million, which is 3 points. That's
3.6.
2.6, right? 3.6?
3.6.
Yeah, 3.6, right?
Yes, sir.
Plus, I gave New York $500,000. So I am out $4.1 million.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I signed a 5-year, $13 million deal. That's the most they could offer me. I didn't want to be in the 5-year deal. I wanted to be a free agent again. I'm gambling on myself now.
Right.
And I didn't know Reggie Lewis was going to die, but I signed the 5-year guarantee. So now you take $8 million from 4.1. I really signed a 1-year, $3.9 million deal. Because you got to remember, I gave up 1.8, and 500, which is 4.1. I got $8 million guaranteed. And so Reggie Lewis died, and the team just goes crazy.
Yeah.
And we lose to Charlotte in the playoffs also that year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Asshole ML Carr becomes the GM. And stuff.
Oh, man.
The ultimate asshole.
Man.
The ultimate asshole.
Mel, you wanted to ask him something about, did you want to ask him anything about the I know you got your New York ties. You wanted to ask him anything about New York specifically?
Nah, you pretty much just said it all. But only thing about New York, was you that year when
Texas High?
Was you the year Charles Smith played? Was that year?
No, that's the year I left in 92. He came in 92, 94. I just felt so bad for the guy because as soon as all that stuff happened, the first thing come to my mind, the first thing they're gonna be saying, they should have kept XAVIER. At least he would have tried to dunk it.
Because I was thinking that might have been you in that position.
Could have been me in that position.
Could have been.
But I'll tell you this right here. anybody that knows me will tell you this. They might have would have blocked one, but they
Not
weren't
four.
going to block twice. You may
I
not.
got it.
You're not going to find many tapes of me unless I'm an old ass man getting 3 shots blocked and I didn't have the hops. I still had some decent hops back then. One of them was going to get boomed on because if you go back to that series, you can ask Cartwright, Big Bill Cartwright and Horace Grant. I had a couple monster dunks on them underneath the basket.
Yeah.
And I go up hard as I can. So I just knew that a lot of people would try to destroy this kid. And unfortunately, you know, people don't realize Scottie Pippen is a hell of an athlete, man.
You was on Scottie though. And I mean, y'all was back and forth holding him, he was holding you. And I heard you say somewhere, I don't need no help.
Yeah, I don't need no help. I tell people all the time, I don't need no help.
Say that one more time. What you say about Scottie Pippen?
I like Scottie. You know, y'all got to realize, I thought Scottie was coming to Seattle, and we traded him for Olin Polynice now.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
I was thought that we would be teammates one day. And I got nothing but respect for Scottie, but what I'm saying is I was quick enough to guard Scottie. A lot of small forwards ain't quick enough to guard him. I was quick enough. And then I was trying to make him use his left hand as much as possible. Everything he's doing, I need him to do it going to his left. If you're a right-hand player, everything you do, you're doing it to your right. I mean, with me, I want to go right and try to dunk on you instead of left. I can still dunk it left, but not with the power with the right. Right. And I think matchups favor certain players. And I've said this in another podcast. If that was Mark Aguirre, that guy used to kill me. Certain matchups favor certain people.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that favored me because I could pick him up. I'm in great shape. I wasn't one of those guys to go out every night and drink and get high, you know. So I felt like that matchup favors me a lot in there. My body frame was bigger than him. He might outwore me, but if you look at Scottie Pippen and look at him, he was saying he wore 215. I was weighing 205. But you look at my body frame, I had a big body frame.
Yeah, so, you look bigger than him. I gotta say that. He looked slender and taller, but you look
he was
bigger.
Weighing in at 210, 215. I was weighing in at 205 back then. So I was just, you know, playing the game that I play. And, you know, when you help on Michael and Scottie, that sets everybody else up. So we needed to play everybody one-on-one. You double Mike, he got 40. You play him single, he still got 40.
Yeah.
So play him single, let him get 40 with single. You know,
I know, right?
Oh man, in New York.
One more question while we're still in Chicago. That famous meme with you and Mike.
Ooh.
Well, how did that happen?
Mike was taking over Scottie, right?
Yeah, you listen to his documentary. I watched it like a lot of people. He said he stood up to the bully. And I was just standing up for myself.
Right.
And so I was just talking trash like most people talk trash, you know? And my job was to get under Scottie's skin and try to make Scottie not be effective as much as in that series. No one could ever said I played dirty ball against him. I never hit him dirty. I played him hard, but I never played dirty. And I was never known as a dirty player, you know? So Scottie has had a reputation of if you can get under his skin, then you can beat the Bulls. Mm-hmm. And so I just went out and did what I needed to do for us to win. Mike was like, stood up and said, F you. And I was like, F you back, Mike. So it got to the point, you couldn't really see it, but you could see my little move. I said, what you want to do? Because shit, I know if me and you get in a fight, they kicking both of us out. We win the game because we still got Patrick Ewing.
I know that's right. So we're jealous. We playing chess right now.
Yeah. So he realized that. And, you know, people, I'm not scared of Michael Jordan. I never was scared of Michael Jordan. Even when I met him We all met each other in the Pan Am trials. We were 20 years old.
Uh-huh.
You know, I tell people where I come from and where I've been at. And I've seen people shot. I've seen people hit in the head with bricks. I've actually witnessed 2 killings in my neighborhood before I even got out of high school. And so they're in shootouts. I ain't gonna talk about the number of shootouts, but I just never was scared. And you know, most people can sit here and say, I can look Mike in the face 30 years later and say, fuck, I ain't never been scared of you.
I know that's right.
I respect you. Respect you as a man, but I've never been scared of you. And I you know, I just never feared him or any player. You know, I go into any game knowing that if I'm gonna be successful, I got to make sure that I'm on top of my game. And if I'm on top of my game, then everything else would take care of itself. And that's how I looked at the Bull game. Was not in the clubs in Chicago. I wasn't sitting around drinking a bunch of beer. Never been a liquor drinker, but I'll chug some beer now. But I just never. When it comes to playoffs, man, the atmosphere is really, really different, and you have to be ready to play, and you have to get your body in sync to where you want to play, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, that's the way for me. I didn't even like our teammates talking to Mike before the game. You know, I tell Greg Anthony.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Don't be
talking. So I know you really wouldn't be a fan of how the current NBA players they fraternize and there are a lot of buddy stuff, and there's not really a lot of distaste or disdain or dislike, or it seems to take away a little bit from the competition just from a fan, as opposed to when you guys did it. It was just seemed like y'all were a lot more passionate, and not trying to back down from anybody, but hold your own on your own squad.
Right. You know, let's say Tyrone Corbin comes to town. I pick him up at the hotel. We go get something to eat. When we get to the game, we're going to shake hands, and that's it. It's about getting busy now. But I understand this is a new time and age. These guys have known each other. A lot of them have known each other from when they were 13 and 14 years old playing on the AAU circuit. You know? Where myself, I didn't meet Michael Jordan until I was 20. I didn't meet Patrick Ewing until I was 20. Me and Patrick hit it off right off. You know, me and Wayman Tisdale knew each other at 18 because we were at BC basketball camp in Georgia together. You know, I didn't meet Charles Barkley until I was 20 years old. We was at BC camp and also at the Pan Am tryouts in Colorado Springs. So most of us didn't know each other until we were about 20 if you wasn't in the same conference. And so it doesn't really bothers me, but I don't understand why I got to exchange jerseys there. I never understood. If I wanted Patrick Ewing jersey, I say, hey, Patrick, send me a damn jersey, man. You know, but I mean, that's what these guys do now, man. I ain't mad at them. I ain't jealous of them. You know, I tell people all the time, man, I love LeBron James. You know why I love LeBron James?
For the man he is.
$1,200 back into my pocket, him and Chris Paul. I don't even know Chris Paul. I met LeBron James in the 2005 All-Star game in LA, him and Carmelo Anthony. And he looked at me and I looked at her and smiled, says, X-Man. He talking about, oh, okay. And so, you know, I look at these guys for helping guys like myself because he put $1,200 back in my pocket every month for healthcare. You know?
Oh, okay. With the Players Association.
Right.
Okay.
We get that free healthcare, man. And I know some guys done messed it up a little bit for trying to fraud people, but fraud the insurance company. But I mean, when you're looking at things or helping the people before you, you can't help but respect these guys, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like I said, the culture has changed. You know, they still get into a few skirmishes, but not like it was when I played. But
oh no,
I told people watch basketball in the bubble. It was some of the best basketball you watch in a long time.
It was execution.
You know why? Because they were not hanging out. They could go nowhere. The team was able to watch what they were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
It was the best. I enjoy basketball, man. Guys were playing, and it was, oh man, it was good. And but people have nightlife because we're regular people, So, but it was good basketball. But I respect those guys.
I need one story from you. Well, two things, but I need you to tell the people what y'all told the rookies about talking to Michael Jordan and how they was thinking that he was on their side.
Well, through the years, I watched rookies go up to Mike, and he talked to them and tell them how great they are and keep up the good work. Man, you're doing good. Just patting you on the back, and then you're 50. So when we were in New York, I was like, nobody talks to this man. Nobody talks to this man. And I was nobody. He wants to come up and talk to you, walk away. And Oak is the type of person that when we be saying things and you doing it, he'll throw a ball at you. So nobody was talking to Mike. Ain't nobody, if he's on that end, then you walk to the other end. We ain't dealing with him. We trying to crack his cranium. So we not trying to be friends with him. But and like I said, that was our culture back then. We're gonna be rough, rugged, and raw. So I just didn't want people talking to Mike.
I understand.
Because now you come up with these stories like in like LeBradford Smith. No, just give that man his credit that he kicked your ass that night. That's all you gotta do. Don't say what revenge. He just kicked your ass. That's it. Simple as that. I mean, the documentary, I like it, but he made himself. I thought he tried to make himself look bigger, and I'm like, Mike, you already big, dude. I promise you, you're the biggest thing on this planet. I mean, you're bigger than Spider-Man, Superman, but some of the negative things of how he treated his teammates,
Yeah.
So,
but a lot of people these days, they'll take that just to pay for Michael Jordan. They say they play with Michael Jordan. I wish Mike would swing and hit me in the eye. Steve Kerr laughing.
Yeah,
like
that's
cool he might hit him in the eye.
Yeah.
LA from South Carolina.
Well, they would have put it this way.
Yeah,
I put it this way. I respect Mike, and I think he's a pretty good guy. But I'm gonna be honest. If he would have did that to me, he would have had to explain why both his eyes black.
Yeah, because you can't. I know that's right. You came at Oakley with the left. I think you play right-handed, but you came at Oakley with the left. I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh,
and you jumped into it.
Yeah, we laugh at that stuff.
Hey, I can tell you watch wrestling.
I know, right? And then y'all ended up being on the same team, and I was like, boy, you, Oakley, and Mason. Yeah. Now you talking about a front line or some dudes who you, no, thank you.
But you know what?
How practice was.
Yeah, practice. Y'all had one of them practices.
Mark Jackson at the point.
Huh?
Oh yeah, man.
Mark Jackson at the point. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorites. I said, how was it to play when you playing with Mark Jackson at the point? So that's one of my favorite point guards.
Yeah, keep your hands up. Something may hit you in the face.
He is the Houdini of basketball. Mark Jackson, he got that New York City game, and if you open, he gets it to you, man. I like playing with Mark, man. I just felt like I wish they would have kept us together, me, him, and Gerald, all three of us.
Gerald Wilkins, Dominique brother.
Yeah. I felt like they should have kept us together one more year, or at least 2 years. But
Starks on that squad too.
Starks was that was his first full season. He was there half a season the year before, so that was his first full season in 91, the 91-92 season. But yeah, man, that was a good squad, man. I thought
they gave up on that squad, I think, too quick. I mean, y'all was right there and gave the Bulls all they wanted.
Well, yeah, and a lot of teams do that sometimes. You get this squad and you think you can improve it. You think you can improve it. And I'm giving you an example of today when Isaiah Thomas was on the Celtics about 4 years ago. They had a run, and the Boston Celtics thought that they need to improve the team, and they start getting rid of people.
And they got Kyrie in there and
Yeah.
And they brought in 8, but then all of a sudden things just start going bad again. So sometimes teams get cute with it when they got a team. See what this team can do for 2 years, you know? And if you go to the Eastern Conference Finals, you don't tear down, you add on to it. Why you gonna knock a house down when it's already a solid foundation? Why you gonna bring in a new foundation? You add pieces to it. Don't tear it down. And that's just the latest of what I've seen over the years. But that, man, I left New York. I love Boston. Don't get me wrong. I don't care what people say and what they talk about racism. And we know racism in the South bad. You know? And so when I'm in Boston, man, they have treated me like I was a king. I go on Newberry Street. I go anywhere in Boston, man, and people will give Mr. McDaniel what he wants. I go to this Italian restaurant, and then I don't know why they're not playing you. You at least get in there and you bust your ass. I don't care what he orders. You want something to go? And, I mean, it'd be like money wasn't no good. I had a great time in Boston, but my heart was probably still in New York.
Man.
You know, I hate to say it, but, you know, I gave Boston everything I could. But like I said, I just, Emil Carr is not one of my favorite people in the world. I just look at him, man. You don't play with people's careers and talk about people's careers and telling me in my face. I tell him in his face and then slap him that this is what you said. You told me if I didn't shut up, you'll try to end my career. And that's what he did. Put me in the game, take me out. You can go look at the stats. I played so many games with, you know, you got to go in or you get suspended. You know, and I don't never want to be a detrimental to a team. But when I see management coming at me, you know, then I got to stand up as a man for myself and then just be honest about the situation. And then I won't be mad because at least you're admitting that, yeah, I did this to this guy and I probably shouldn't have did it. So I don't like him. And if he walk in right now, y'all be like, oh, shit, I'll slap the shit out of him.
Yeah. That's home, baby. That's how we do. That's how we do. You know what I mean?
You know, you don't play with people's money, man. And
you don't. Their career, their money, their mama, their food,
and they time.
Yeah, I had the late, what's his name? Smith. What's his name? Played for Louisville. Smith. Derek Smith. The late Derek Smith came to me and said, "Chill, man." When they saying something, they were trying to. I was trying to get traded. Washington was trying to trade for me, and he came to me, and Derek Smith said, "I need you to relax, man, and just don't fight back. I'm trying to get you out of. We trying to get you out of Boston," and it never materialized, and that's why. That's why I got the anger at him because he knows this, and he could never be in my presence and say this because, you know. I'm thinking that, okay, I'm going to chill and I stop talking and this guy just keeps going on and on. Then, you know, he jerked me around that last year in Boston, which was my free agent year, you know?
Wow. And then after that year, and that last year in Boston, going overseas?
Yeah, I went over to Greece for a year, then 2 years in New Jersey, and then I gave it up.
Does Greece still owe you that million?
They still owe me that million. Cliff Livingston asked me, he said, hey man, they be trying to contact you, man. They want you to come back to Greece. They want to recognize you as one of the best players to play in Greece. I said, tell them when they send me a damn $1 million check, I'll be back in Greece. I do not want to talk to them.
I know that's right. Oh man, we've been going for a while here. We're over an hour and a half in. I don't know how much time we got, Mel, but I want to ask you real quick, how was your feeling? One of my final questions I got. When they retired, I think they retired your jersey at Wichita State.
Right after my last game after my senior year.
Man, retired your number, man. I mean, I know you were going on, I guess at that time. I thought it was later, but since it was new.
I was 21 years old when they retired. I hadn't turned 22. My birthday was in June. I performed in front of these people for 4 years, but I was nervous to speak in front of them. And they was asking for a speech, and I just said, thank you. That's all I could ever say, thank you. But I got mixed emotions about it because, you know, my friend Arbor Sherrod was supposed to get his jersey retired. They did mine first. And then my college coach got fired right after my rookie year. And so they never retired his jersey. And I always just felt like we both should have been in the rafters together. But I was very, very nervous. That was it. Okay, go ahead. And I was just.
We love the babies now. We love the kids. We love the kids.
I was just very nervous. Like I said, I hadn't performed in front of these people for 4 years. And there was 10,666 people at the game. And I just said thank you, but I really appreciate them, man. They pretty much have adopted me as one of their own. I call it my second home. I go there all the time. I do a basketball camp there in the summer. And I usually get back for at least 1 or 2 games. If they come somewhere close. I was thinking about heading over to where's the school at? East Carolina. But with the COVID stuff, they didn't go. So
okay.
I tried.
So you were thinking about getting into coaching? Were you thinking about getting into coaching? Because I know a lot of your teammates, Nate McMillan.
Man, I ain't no coach. I'll work a kid every once in a while, but I ain't no coach, man. I'll coach my kids. And I did some AAU coaching for even after my daughter left about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you had a daughter who's an All-American too, right?
Right. She played in North Carolina, and my son played at University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley in Edinburgh, Texas. But
genes is strong.
Yeah. And I got 2 more little ones. My oldest daughter didn't play ball. She just got her doctorate degree, so she's a doctor now. And about to get married, so I'm paying for a wedding too. Yeah. But
salute.
I got 2 more youngsters. I got 7 and 4-year-old, and I'm hoping one day that they will follow in my footsteps too.
You got a 7 and a 4-year-old, Mel.
Still kicking, baby.
Man, I know that's right. Still kicking. Hey. We one of our first episodes was about fatherhood, man, and that was one of our best episodes, I think. And sounds like you're doing a tremendous job on that.
You can only do the best you can do as long as you're trying, And,
right.
Kids are a piece of work, though, man. I know.
Oh yeah.
I was a piece of work too.
Yeah. You had some folks mold you and steer you in the right directions, keep you out of some of that trouble, and look at you.
Well, hey, man, we like at 1:42.
Yeah, man.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I wanted to get some of them roots in there, so thank you, sir.
Yeah. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. Anytime y'all want to bring me on, just call me. You got my number. I got you stored in. Okay. We're gonna make it happen.
I appreciate it too.
I talk South Carolina, man. I've been telling people, man, about South Carolina since I left here at 18. Just turned 18 in June. I got on a Trailway bus station going to Kansas, and I've been telling people on that ride the whole time that South Carolina got some of the best athletes, and they're starting to see that now.
They are.
With the number of pro players we got from Paradoja to Middleton Yep, you got the kid.
We got Ja and Zion just got drafted.
You got the kid at Boston that went to Vanderbilt. I'm trying to think of his name. He from Charleston too. Him and Middleton went to the same high school.
Yeah, North Charleston together.
Yeah, down in Charleston. And we got some players, man, and we've had some players, that made it, man. And they got to spread the word too that, South Carolina basketball is top notch,
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad you do that.
My thing is, this is a football state,
but
this is a basketball town. You go to any high school game. You go to Darlington, Hartsville. Man, it's packed houses.
It be packed now. Yeah.
It's packed houses.
They get a hooper in there.
And don't think I don't know about St. John. Was it St. John's down there?
St. John.
St. John.
St. John. Yeah.
They cheated at AC Florida back in the late 80s. I think it was 87 or 88.
So you know who Derek McQueen is?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Derek.
We had him on the show.
We had Derek McQueen on.
His daughter's
loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was helping me AAU. He was helping me and Roger Wiley doing AAU coaching. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually was in the Cozell. He said he wasn't real sure if he was or not. But yeah, I know him and his family, man. They're good people.
Darlington.
Yeah, you know Alfred Taylor.
I heard of that name. I don't think I know him.
Yeah, Alfred, he came out with me. I'm like, damn, who this guy with all these?
When you was in Wichita State, so Tony Shaw was in South Carolina, right?
South Carolina. Tony was at South Carolina.
So he was there with Edmund was there too?
Yep. They were there together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tony Shaw, I think when he came out, 86.
Yeah, because I think so, because he from around here too.
Right, yeah. But he may be from the county, but he from another small town.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name right now. Yeah, I remember Tony Shaw from USC. Yeah. I hadn't seen him in years though. But yeah, man, it's a lot of talent in this state, man. And I tell people all the time, I've been an advocate for South Carolina basketball, man. You know, I take nothing away from no other state, but I'll put us up against anybody.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. It warms my heart. We want our own. Man. Always repped. And that's somebody who, as the way he played and the way he stood for what he stands for, man.
Yeah.
And shouts out to Alex English. That's who we need him. I need him, man. You got to get me in touch with Alex.
I'm going to shoot you his number.
Okay.
You can tell him I gave it to you. How you get it?
Yeah, man. Word up.
Alex cool.
Man. That'll be cold, boy.
He from King Park area, Valley Park, but boy, me and him like night and day. Alex. But I love him, man, because I mean he kind of inspired me to be a basketball player. I was telling a story that a guy named Peter Ray McClinton used to get us tickets when we were going to the boys club. And I watched the night that he broke the scoring record at USC, and he gave his mom the basketball. And that's something I always wanted to do. I don't think I ever told him, but I did look up to him. We always talk about a lot of other players like Dr. J and stuff, but I always looked up to it because I said one day I was going to break that record. And I also told him another story. I said, you remember you had your camp at St. Luke Gym over by Oak Street? He said, yeah. I said, you used to drive a Jeep, Annie? He said, yeah. I said, you kicked me out your camp and stuff. And he was like, I did. I said, yeah, you kicked me. He said, what I kicked you out for? I said, for fighting.
Oh.
He looked at me and said, I guess you still fighting too, Annie. But he didn't even know. I started to get somebody to jack that Jeep one day.
Oh, goodness.
7 years old. You know, let's get that Jeep.
We got to get him back on the podcast, Mel. So I'm like, okay, we got some more stories. He's a super nice guy, man. And when I would come to Denver, he would take me out to eat all the time. I got in a fight with one of his teammates, trying to think his name. He owned a funeral home, had beard from South. Why can I remember he's from Southwest Louisiana, Northeast Louisiana. He got traded with that Kiki trade. What was his name? Big dude, about 6'7", had the beard. And I had like, bam, bam, bam. And he just looked at me. I was like, oh, shit. I just took off. Right? Oh, man, what's this guy's name? Oh, man.
He got traded with that Kiki when Kiki went to Portland, and he left and went to Denver and stuff, man. And Alex he would take me out to eat, man, and talk to me all the time, man, and stuff, man. But I'm gonna shoot you his number.
All right.
And just tell him that I gave it to you and stuff. He can only say yeah or nay.
That's all.
Yeah. Then if he say now, Xavier say now, he gonna come knock on your door.
I sure.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Okay.
Really do, man.
I'm sending it to you.
Love having you on the show, man.
Okay. Mel, I'm sending it to you as we talk. I'm pulling it up.
Look at that, Mel. Got Alex English. That is one of the coldest throwback jerseys, though. Remember we had the throwback phase, that Denver Nuggets with the English on the back.
Should be getting it right now.
All right, man. You're welcome to come on the
Okay.
show at any time. We're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Thank
Just
you
let
for
me
your
know,
time, man.
All right, y'all just let me know, man, and I'll be more than happy.
All right.
Appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate
you.
Thank you,
Salute,
sir.
man. Appreciate you.
All right. You what not that?
Open your ears and listen, direction for your ambitions. New narrative, this the community coalition. Drumel, Corey, and Dory here for the intervention. We've been letting it slide for
Too long.
We don't know unity in the communities.
That's how we rise up.
Empowerment itself. Knowledge is
Knowledge
what
is
Rise
what.
up.
no more fighting as individuals. We miss
We
forecast.
This the podcast to listen to. We out.
out.
Mara.